high school for most athletes is both the beginning and the end of a lot of people's athletic careers. You may have come up as a freshman, graduated as a senior. 90+% of high school athletes are not going to play college in any form, whether it's D1, 2, 3, JUCO, NA, IA, whatever that may be. Your athletic career is basically over in most sports. And the additions of high school to MLB the Show's Road to the Show mode and the reintroduction of high school to Road to Glory in College Football 26 just show that y'all truly aren't trying to make that high school experience anything worthwhile of playing. You play moments? Come on, bro. Moments? Back when I coached football on a more regular basis, which was about 10 years ago, we had one player that I know for sure played not just both sides of the ball. He played literally all 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 phases. He played offense, defense, and special teams. He was our running back. He was our middle linebacker. He was our kicker. He was our punter. Hell, I'm sure he lined up at tight end a couple times. Like, he pretty much was the engine of our team. And the funny thing is, he actually got hurt about week 4 of the season and was out for the rest of it. He had an appendix situation. He had to get his appendix removed. He tried to come back for the final week of the season, and it just wasn't going to happen. Did he end up playing his senior year? If I'm not mistaken, he did. And honestly, up top of my head, I can't remember where he went to school. This was a very long time ago. Actually, funny thing is, I just looked him up on Facebook, and because I ain't friends with him, I don't know much about what's going on with him at this point. Which, listen, if he ain't locked up, that's fine. If he ain't locked up and didn't know nothing crazy, I can say I guess we did our job as coaches. That being said, why don't we get that experience? With wear and tear in the game for Road to the Glory and a Dynasty, why can't we take our Road to Glory player and, we got to work through, our high school team is trash, bro. And that's exactly what we were when I was coaching. And go from there. Maybe start as a freshman and not just play the games and, get offers and become all conference or division or all state and stuff like that and really build up accolades. But one game that I've seen do the high school sports experience at least some justice, and I know y'all probably gonna hate me saying this, but Professional Baseball Spirits does it. Now, understandably, there is a language barrier, given that it is in Japanese, and my battery on my phone will run out from doing translate the entire time, even though I am a part of a Discord that the person that is running that Discord has translated basically all of the game at this point, including a lot of the cutscenes and stuff like that. Not cutscenes, but the cutscenes. And it just feels like a more fleshed out experience. Like, yes, you have to deal with dating and, we've got players coming back to the school and just all kinds of stuff, which, it might seem a little cheesy, but it at least fleshes out the experience, not just from, you're playing games to, there's a little bit more you got to do. Like, you are setting yourself up to, have this player become better over time, like better, not you jump into the mode and you choose your star rating, which is absolutely ridiculous. Let me earn, my overall or, star rating. Hell, it doesn't have to be overall, because I know in 25, especially in Dynasty for recruiting, the star rating almost directly correlated to a player's overall. And I know at present point, and honestly, it's probably going to be a couple years before NIL truly has a role in any of these sports games, whether it's MLB the Show or college football from EA or even 2K, which I think 2K's my career at one point had high school. And hell, at least you could play the whole game. I mean, granted, it's basketball. So basketball, you are automatically going to be playing offense and defense regardless, because it's an up and down game as opposed to baseball where you could be the pitcher and you're just pitching, or you're a two-way player, as a lot of high school players tend to be, or a decent amount. Let me not say a lot, because I know on high school teams I played on, or at least have, seen, usually the best player is the pitcher, and that pitcher usually is playing another position, whether it's center field or shortstop or wherever. I mean, MLB has a ton of players who have been pitchers and played another position, or vice versa. There have been in football, obviously high school, you got players that are going to play 2-3 ways. They're going to play offense, defense, and special teams. They will very rarely get a breather. They usually are the absolute best player in that school. So again, why not reflect that in the game? And like, why would you limit? Actually, I already know the answer to this. It's so that you can transfer your character from college football 26 to Madden 26. Why would you limit this to only quarterback, halfback, wide receiver, Mike, linebacker, and cornerback? You literally just inserted edge for the first time ever, when the terminology of an edge rusher has been a thing for well over 20 years. Why can't I play defensive tackle? Maybe I don't feel like being that edge rusher. Maybe I'm just like, I just want to be a big brutal mother sucker and just be a nose tackle. I just want to mash on this center the whole day. And you're going to have to double team me. I want to stuff the run. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to drop back in coverage, or I very rarely will drop back in coverage. Like, where is the variety of positions? Why can't I play safety? You can play Mike linebacker. You can have me play safety. It's just 5 more yards back, maybe 10. Backpedal and break on passes in the seams, or a corner route. Like, hell, be the safety that hell, I could play 15 yards back, and about the second you hand that ball off, I'm right at the line of scrimmage. Like, even though I'm a free safety, like, I could boom, right through the gap, smash your running back, or go head on with the fullback, or a tight end, or whoever. We're not going to get this experience. Now, granted, you can probably get it. Not probably. You can definitely get it as a Mike linebacker. Why can't I be a tight end? I understand that would probably involve you having to change some kind of mechanics so that I have to block. That's okay, because as a wide receiver in high school, most teams are running the ball. Even teams that are playing the spread, they are running the ball, and the receiver has to block. Are they the greatest blockers? Probably not, but what I used to tell my receivers is, if you block well enough, you're going to get the ball. You're going to get the ball in a passing situation. You block downfield, you showing the effort, you are putting pressure on that cornerback to be like, damn, son, I can't just backpedal in my cover 3 zone. I can't just lay off you because I know they running the ball. No, because if I lay off, whoop, there's that quick hitter. Oh, now you got to deal with me in space. Whoop. And most cornerbacks are not tacklers, because I also coach cornerbacks too. And believe me when I tell you, we were practicing tackling. I had him out there with the linebackers, at least enough to where, like, all right, listen, you might not be the fastest, you might not be, the most agile, but if you happen to give up a catch, you at least are going to put in the effort to at least bring them down where they've caught the ball, so long as you haven't gotten cooked. But to bring us back to the full high school experience, where's the 7-on-7 where, I know if we had offensive line. I remember even during 7-on-7's offensive line, I had them doing something, or usually they probably were doing something else in the summer, which is fine. Where is the experience of, hey, I get to choose that I'm a multi-sport athlete, and that might give me better physical abilities or a better chance at physical abilities. Nothing being guaranteed, as opposed to, hey, choose your position, choose your archetype. Let me earn it. Let me earn what I'm, doing on the field. Let me run into situations, where maybe I'm talking to the coach, or the coach, let's be honest, is talking to me, and they want to know, hey, listen, we kind of shorthanded here in your junior season for, defensive ends. Hey, man, I know we got you playing, outside linebacker, non-edge. Say it's a 43 defense. Hey, man, we see that you got some speed. So you might not be the strongest. And, a lot of our opponents this year, they're not that great at the tackle spot. Hey, we need you to slide down, put your hand in the dirt and get after that. Get after that tackle. Get after that tight end and that tackle, because they're running a hell of a lot of, double tight end sets. They're running tight end wing or tight end tackle wing. They're running unbalanced. So you got to really, be on your game, especially considering they've added to gameplay, defensive players steering the gap open or shut. At least that's the way I'm envisioning it, because that's exactly how defensive linemen usually do. They're close. Even if you can't just bull rush and mush your man, you can at least attempt to, close off a gap, even if you can't get around them, even if they're holding you, even if hell, there's a lot of situations. Your man that is next to you also playing defensive line, he got washed. There's nothing you could do about it. You can't help him out. All you can do is help your linebackers, shoot them gaps as they need to. Where's the situation in high school where, hey, you a freshman and damn son, you got a team that is a whole lot of juniors and seniors, and bro, you might not play a ton. Maybe you got to go play JV for a year or two, and then as you build your skills up, the JV coach is talking to your head coach, the varsity head coach. You're like, all right, we'll bring him on for his junior year so that he could play, get some burn, because you'd be surprised how many college recruits, they may have only really played their senior year like on a regular basis. Junior year, they got some burn here and there. Maybe where's the scenario where, hey, your teammate plays the same position, he's a better athlete than you. Hey, man, now you got to step up because they got hurt or they did something stupid, like they cheated on the history test or something. Like, give us some of that, so it's like, oh, it's not just us playing moments. Like, depth, immersion. Let that high school experience be something like, damn, son, like, I was a 3-star coming out of high school, and yeah, I'm about to get drafted, and hey, I flash back to sophomore year. It's like, damn, son, like, if I hadn't stepped up in this situation, I wouldn't have been an NFL draftee. That's how you make people want to play Road to Glory. Because other than that, and I mean, there's a bunch of other things in Road to Glory that honestly I didn't like in 25, because I played it for like a couple games and I was just like, yo, this is terrible. I mean, I like the incorporation of me having to spend my time doing things besides getting physically better. Attribute wise, practice was kind of like I didn't care about it too much, and I would have preferred a little bit more control over play calling, especially as a quarterback. Like, come on, like, it's like, yeah, oh my goodness, I think I had it where I was the Army quarterback. I didn't play the entire freshman year completely, and I'm just like, all right, cool, I could understand that. Like, sometimes that just happens. Sophomore year, I get in finally, and Some of the play calling was just deplorable. It's 3rd and 7. I know we running flexbone, dog, but there's a pass in here. Come on. We're not about to dive option our way to 8 yards, 7.5 yards. We ain't that good. I'm not that fast of a runner, though I can run option. Bruh, your play calling is just terrible. CPU AI wise. They said they've cleaned that up. That remains to be seen because, I know that a lot of that is reliant on the game plan stars feature, though they have stated they are including AI, or at least generative AI, or whatever AI they're using that they probably told us sometime over the last 20 years. AI is better, logic is better. Bro, they still out here calling 4 verts for no reason. Not that 4 verts isn't or can be a good play. They out here calling slants on 3rd and 15. Bro, what are you doing? It's 3rd and 15. You backed up. You at least put some oomph behind the ball. Like, we got our corners backed off, your receivers. Like, at least play in the eye. They backed off. Yes, you can run something underneath. It's just probably not likely to work unless you're exploiting some part of a defensive team's game plan. Anyhow, let me know what y'all thoughts were on the Road to Glory deep dive, or shallow puddle of waters there, as I'm going to call it, in the comment section below. Thank you for listening to Franchise Ain't Dead podcast here on State of the Franchise Gaming, or wherever you are listening to podcasts, because I am available at all the podcast pit stops. Peace out.